Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling and wondering, what is happening to me? Perhaps you have begun to feel as though everything around you is crumbling. The life you once knew no longer feels familiar. The things you used to care about do not excite you. You may feel disconnected from your job, your friends, your routines, and even from yourself. It is almost as if the ground beneath your feet has vanished, and this haunting thought creeps in. Am I losing my mind? However, I want you to consider this. What if you are not losing your mind at all? What if, instead, you are beginning to find your soul? I know that might sound strange, particularly when you feel like you are experiencing an emotional breakdown, but the journey of spiritual awakening often begins with chaos. I do not mean a little confusion. I mean a deep, soul-shaking kind of chaos where nothing seems to make sense anymore. One day, you may wake up and realize that your entire identity is being questioned. You might feel like you are watching your life from the outside, as if you have become a stranger to yourself. This experience can be terrifying and isolating, yet it is necessary. You cannot awaken to your true self without first letting go of the false one. This can feel like losing your mind because the identity you have built over many years is beginning to disintegrate. The version of you shaped by societal, familial, cultural, and personal expectations is fading away. Understandably, this feels like madness. It feels as though you are being pulled apart from the inside. At this stage, many people panic and think something is wrong with them. They try to fix the situation by returning to old habits or distractions, anything that might make them feel normal again. What they fail to realize is that this discomfort, this inner unraveling, is actually the beginning of something sacred. It is the moment when your soul begins to whisper through the cracks of your former identity. During this time, you may start to experience emotions you have not felt in years, or perhaps emotions you have never felt at all. You may find yourself crying for no reason or feeling deep sadness, even when nothing bad has occurred. Waves of anxiety or confusion may wash over you, seemingly unrelated to any particular event. It is as if you are shedding a skin that was never truly yours. What is really happening is that you are peeling back the layers of conditioning and uncovering something real, your soul. Initially, this process may not feel spiritual. Rather, it feels like a breakdown. You may forget things, find your thoughts jumbled, and lose interest in activities that once mattered. You feel as if you are floating through life, disconnected from everything around you. However, you are not broken, you are in transition. You are moving from a life built on external values to one led by your inner truth. Let me tell you that being in this in-between space is uncomfortable. You are no longer who you used to be, yet you are not, yet who you are becoming. You may feel stuck and lost, as though you are in a dark tunnel with no idea which direction leads to safety. This stage is often when people feel the most alone, as it is challenging to explain what is happening to you. When you share your feelings, others may suggest that you're overthinking or simply need a break. But inside, you know it runs deeper than that. Your soul is posing questions that your mind cannot answer. Questions like, why am I really here? What is the purpose of my life? What is truth? These are not superficial thoughts. They are profound, soul-level inquiries that originate from a place of deep, inner knowing. This marks the beginning of your awakening. Awakening does not equate to becoming someone new. It means returning to who you have always been beneath the roles, masks, and expectations placed upon you. It involves remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. However, this process of remembering is not initially peaceful. It can be quite painful. It requires grieving the old version of yourself, the one that chased approval, lived in fear and adhered to rules that never made sense. You must confront the parts of yourself that you have avoided, your wounds, traumas, and shadows. They arise not to punish you, but to be healed and released. Yes, it feels like you are losing your mind because you are stepping outside the mental programming that has kept you safe, yet limited. You are letting go of the beliefs that have confined you. As your mind starts to lose its grip, it fights back. It tells you that you are crazy and attempts to pull you back into what is familiar, even if that familiarity is painful. However, your soul craves freedom, and that is why the pull feels so intense. During this tumultuous time, you may encounter unusual experiences, vivid dreams, déjà vu, repeated numbers, and signs that seem too specific to be mere coincidences. You may start sensing energy or feeling another person's mood before they even speak. Crowds may overwhelm you, and you might become unusually sensitive to light and noise. You may find yourself yearning for silence, nature, or solitude. These are not signs of madness. They are indications that your senses are expanding. You are beginning to connect with the unseen, the spiritual realm, and your soul. Additionally, you may notice that certain relationships no longer feel aligned. People you once felt close to may begin to feel distant, not because you do not love them, but because your energy no longer matches theirs. Conversations may feel empty, and small talk may become unbearable. You yearn for depth, truth, and soul. While this desire can feel lonely at first, over time, it will guide you to new connections. People who truly see you, hear you, and communicate in the same soul language. You will not need to pretend, nor will you need to explain. They will simply understand because they have traversed the same fire. You may also observe a shift in your perception of time. Days might blur together. Some moments may feel timeless, while others stretch endlessly. You may lose track of schedules, becoming less concerned about deadlines and more focused on presence. Your priorities will begin to shift. You will find that you value inner peace more than outer success, and that being authentic matters more than being well-liked. Gradually, you will start to trust yourself in a way you never have before. Your intuition will grow louder, and you will begin to follow inner nudges without needing proof. You will discover that life flows more smoothly when you stop forcing and start allowing. When you listen instead of chase. This transition from mental control to soulful trust marks the moment everything changes. You begin to heal, not because your life becomes perfect, but because you cease fighting against what is. You learn to coexist with your emotions rather than run from them. You start to hold your pain with compassion rather than judgment. In that space of surrender, you unveil something beautiful. Your true self, not the version of you that is always performing or seeking validation, but the subtle version that is grounded, whole, and alive. This self does not need to prove anything. It simply is radiant, free, and true. This version of you has always been there, waiting beneath the fear, the stories, and the noise. Now, after all the chaos, you are finally beginning to meet your true self. Remember, the mind can be loud, but the soul is subtle. The mind demands answers now, while the soul patiently waits for you to be ready. That readiness often begins with a breakdown, because only when the old self falls away can the new one truly begin. Therefore, if you find yourself in the midst of a breakdown, feeling as though you are losing your mind. I want you to know this. You are not losing your mind. You are waking up. You are awakening from a dream you did not realize you were in. Although the process may be confusing, painful, and uncertain, it is also sacred. This journey is not easy, but it is worth it. The peace that arises after awakening is not reliant on anything external. It is quiet, deep, and genuine. It is not about escaping life. It is about fully embracing it, with your soul guiding the way. If you have made it this far, if you are still listening and still holding on, then you are already on the path. You are beginning to remember. You are finding your way home. So, take a deep breath, trust the process, let the old self fall away, and allow the new self to rise. You are not lost, you are not broken. You are transforming, awakening, and you are doing so beautifully. And remember what I promised at the beginning of this video. The thought you had, "Am I losing my mind?" It was not a sign of something going wrong. It was the moment your soul gently whispered, "No, dear one, you are finally coming alive." So, take a deep breath. Know that you are not alone, and you are certainly not crazy. You are simply waking up.